Hey, hey, there's your Wisconsin wine guy, and you know what? I wanted to share this wine with you because I can't be called the Wisconsin wine guy if I don't review wines from Wisconsin, right? Right. I mean, I've been heavily involved in the Wisconsin wine industry. In fact, I even grew my own grapes just to get a better understanding of the grapes that grow here in Wisconsin. And if you follow me, you know a little bit more about those Wisconsin wine grapes. So today, let me just say I like this view because you can actually get a full view of the wine and a full view of me in my background. So this is going to be coming from Ledgestone Vineyards. Ledgestone Vineyards, I mean, beautiful labels, artistic labels, you know, they try to do with their wines. This is Ledgestone Vineyards, do you like this? Ledgestone Vineyards out of Greenleaf, Wisconsin. That is going to be west of Kewanee, okay? So this is going to be a blend for Ledgestone Vineyards of Frontenac. Now, for those who don't know, Frontenac is a grape. You can look at my thing right here, my poster right here. Frontenac is a grape that grows in Wisconsin and throughout the Midwest. It can withstand our winter climates. So it's going to be a blend of Frontenac. And what they do, which is unique, is blend it with varietals like Cabernet Franc, Cabernet, Merlot, etc. This particular blend is going to be with Cabernet Franc, the father of Cabernet. So this is going to be a blend of Cabernet Franc and Frontenac, grown here right here in Wisconsin. All right, so we're coming in at 13.6% alcohol on this one here. So it's going to be very interesting. I tried this wine. You can see this wine has been open. I tried this wine several years ago. We're now in 2022. I tried this wine several years ago and I thought, oh my God, this is phenomenal. So the question is, in the Midwestern wines, because they're not the typical grapes that people know, is what is the ageability of some of these wines? And that's why I sit on these wines and I do these wine reviews periodically once the wines have aged a little bit, whether it be from 3 to 5 to 15 years. Okay, I try to give it some time to age. So when I taste these wines, I can tell you what my opinion of the wines was when I originally tasted it in the year it was released, and what opinion of the wines are later or years later after release. So I'm going to open this fresh right for you. As you can see, there's no foil around the top. This is a straight cork. All right. Now, for those who are not familiar with wells in Wisconsin or familiar with Ledgestone wineries, this is a winery that was purchased by a young couple who have wine experience and did a lot of wine tutelage in Australia and different places around the world, and they decided to buy a winery that was here in Wisconsin. And you know what? It grew its own grapes, and they wanted to take this winery to a whole different level. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I believe they did. They did a good job with that and taking this wine to a new level. It already had grapes that were grown on the property, and they wanted to go through. In fact, personal opinion, the original owner, after a while, just let the winery or the vineyard just go down. They came through and gave love to the vineyard and brought it up and brought it to where it is now. Beautiful. So this is 2019 or 2018 vintage of Ledgestone Vineyards, blend of Frontenac and Cabernet Franc. Let's get a pour of that. Look at that color. Most of you never heard of a grape called Frontenac, right? Right? But I have. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? Let me get my white background here. Isn't that beautiful? Let's put it behind here so you can see it. Check out that color. Now, Frontenac will produce wines of deep color. Frontenac can make rosés. Frontenac can make sweet wines and dry wines. But we're talking about Cabernet Franc added to it. All right? This is a beautiful wine. I think about when I first tasted it, and I could not wait. You know, and I'm doing it. This is 19, 20, 23 years later. I tried to wait to 5 years, but I wanted to show you this wine right now. We have the ability to age wines, and wines have the ability to age and develop and become more complex, more delicious over years of time. Oh, If you never tasted a Frontenac, you want to get this. I grew Frontenac. I once grew grapes here in Wisconsin. I grew Frontenac. And I've made just simple grape juice, and I made wine from it. But from the grape juice itself, the virgin nose and taste is what I try to look for. Definitely smells like Frontenac. But then in that background, you get a nice blend of Cabernet Franc. Cabernet Franc doesn't taste like a Cabernet Sauvignon. If you're thinking because it says Cabernet. It's a lot lighter, a lot fruitier. But those two grapes blended very well together. Aged in oak barrels, okay? A nice blend. I mean, that nose in itself is just so nice. And you know what? If you haven't experienced the grapes of the Midwest or the grapes of Wisconsin, I advise you to do so. That's the only way we can understand. Remember, once upon a time, some of us did not even know what a Chardonnay, Merlot, Cabernet, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir. We didn't even know what those grapes tasted like or smelled like. I'm encouraging you to go and taste the wines in the Midwest, especially Wisconsin. There's a lot of things happening here. So that nose, you get more of herbal. Especially also from the Cabernet Franc. You get more of herbal nose. You get a combination of raspberry, cherry, and in the background, a little bit of citrus coming on here. Now, if you've been following Wisconsin Wine Guy, it's a two-step process. Step number one, we got to taste it, all right? We got to feel for the sensation of the acidity. No acidity, no play. And also, let's check out the balance. Let's check off the tannins, all right? Second step two, is that's when we begin to taste the wine after we cover our mouth with the entire wine and decide if we like it or don't like it and make a recommendation to you. Here we go. Oh my gosh. This is my last bottle of 2018. And let me tell you, I wish I had waited to the full 5 years because it is still ripe. It is still beautiful. It is still balanced. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? Let's get the white background for you. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, because the Frontenac grape, will produce, dense, dark, colored wines. In addition to the Frontenac. I mean, they do a good job with their blends, as far as the wines goes at Ledgestone Vineyards. I mean, it goes from a amber, ruby, to a dark, deep burgundy. Wow. Now, if I had to give you comparison to this, I would go with a Rhone. Like a Rhone/Bordeaux on this one, or Bordeaux/Rhone. I mean, the combination is really nice with Midwestern grapes and regular varietals. Wow. I mean, again, when you think about Wisconsin grapes, you think about more European style. We're a cool climate. You get cold winters. We're a cool climate. So you get that here. Nice complexity. But the overall taste is just so nice in this wine. I mean, wow, you can't go wrong. Now, of course, quite naturally, they are on a different vintage from this one, I think 2019 and 2020. But this is 2018. You can't go wrong here. It's a beautiful wine, nicely balanced. Your Wisconsin Wine Guy is going to give the Ledgestone Vineyard right here. Ledgestone Vineyard, you can't see it. Ledgestone Vineyard blend of Frontenac Red and Cabernet Franc a double thumbs up. They did a great job with this wine. It's not only a good everyday drinker, it's a good wine that you can age and see how it develops. And I'm like sad that I opened it after 3 years. Normally I go to 5 years or more with these wines, but I just had to open this wine and tell you about it. Now I need to go and get myself a current vintage and just sit on it. Right? So there you have it, Wisconsin Wine Guy. Saying as always, and pour some more. Let your palate be the guide when selecting your next wine. And I will see you on another wine review. Ciao!